Today we are returning to a place of appreciation and respect towards our traditions. As you heard people speaking about in the film, we have thousands of years of medicines and healing practices behind us, and many of these are still in use today. Sy'ilx lands continue to be used for gathering medicines and also for hunting, fishing, root digging, and berry picking. Our traditional foods are a powerful embodiment of the connection between our health and the health of our land. When we were displaced from the land and forced to rely on centralized food production, the result was a sedentary lifestyle that has contributed to many of the health issues we face today. In recent years, it has been exciting to see our people returning to our traditional foods. Within our communities, we've been working to bring elders and children onto the land so that our children can taste foods like spitlum and sia, and so they can experience for themselves the work of gathering, preparing, and preserving our foods. It is great to watch traditional knowledge keepers coming into our daycares and into our schools and taking the kids out with them to gather berries or roots, and then to watch the kids eat what they have harvested. These foods are so much healthier than the mainstream Western foods that we have become accustomed to eating. More and more of our families and communities are returning to our tradition of going out together for berry picking and hunting camps. Last year, many of us were able to go fishing for the first time in our lives when the Okanagan salmon finally returned in abundance. Alterations to our landscape in the form of hydro dams and river channelization had led to near extinction of the Okanagan salmon and the loss of fishing as a form of sustenance. For the past decade, the ONA has been a driving force behind the rehabilitation of our major river, making it possible for salmon to again swim past the dam at Okanagan Falls. At the annual salmon feast, our nation offered prayers of thanks for the miraculous return of hundreds of thousands of fish, the most in almost 100 years. As Western biologists and governments struggle to find solutions to pressing environmental problems, they are increasingly recognizing the value of our traditional ecological knowledge, or TEK as it gets called. After being silenced for so long, our elders are now being sought out. Their knowledge of our ecosystems is being recorded and their insights sought. Like the Okanagan salmon, currently Okanagan language and subsequently Okanagan worldview, knowledge, culture, and people are critically endangered and are facing extinction. Many are determined to not let that happen. Indigenous languages were prohibited in residential school, effectively blocked the transmission of Sy'ilxian and traditional knowledge from parent to child, depriving us of our mother tongue. Today there are only a handful of native and Sy'ilxian speakers left, but there is a growing commitment among our communities to preserve our language. Our children are being taught in Sy'ilxian along with English from the time they are babies. New materials are being developed to preserve and teach the language, and courses are available for adults. And in the last module of this course, you too will learn to speak a few words. In this module, I have introduced the Sy'ilx, the original people on whose land you reside in the Okanagan Valley. People whose ancestors have lived on this territory for thousands of years. You are just at the beginning of a life journey in learning about the Sy'ilx and understanding what it truly means to be culturally safe in interacting with Sy'ilx peoples. Now you know a little bit about our peoples. In the following modules, you will learn how to look and learn about yourselves and how your own values and perceptions of health are framed by your own culture.